Welcome to Meet the Vendors, a video series featuring the best of the wedding industry here in Calgary. Today I'm joined with Jason from Dance Shout Productions. Hi!
Hi! Hi YouTube!
Jason Cathcart is the head DJ and owner of Dance Shout Productions. He's been a DJ for over 20 years and he's been involved with DJing at weddings since 1998. His goal is to bring a high energy atmosphere and to make sure that the guests are dancing the night away and shouting that they want more when it is time to shut the party down. So how many weddings and events do you typically do per year?
Well, I personally DJ 20 to 30 weddings a year, but my team at Dance Shout, we handle 50 to 60 weddings a year. So I like to work with each couple that comes to us individually, and so that they benefit from my experience, and then I trust my team to make sure that we pull off the vision that they have for their day.
What do you typically bring to a wedding in terms of lighting and banners, etc.?
Well, every wedding is going to be a little bit different. Some weddings we're going to bring a great big sound system, other ones are going to want intelligent lighting or low-lying fog or their name and lights. There's a whole myriad of different things that we can do at each event, but one thing you'll never see at any of our events is a big 6-foot banner on the front of our table saying Dance Shout Productions was here. A wedding's just not the place for that.
How far in advance do the bride and groom typically have to book you?
Well, I always encourage clients to book us as early in the planning process of their wedding as possible so that they know that they're getting what they want for their wedding. For prime dates, spring, summer, fall, we're typically booking anywhere from a year to 18 months out. Occasionally, I can book things in on a shorter notice, but it's just like the worst thing ever when somebody comes to me and it's 3 months before the wedding and they have to have Dance Shout at their wedding. We're just totally not available for them.
Do you act as the MC of the reception and make all of the announcements?
Well, sometimes, in the United States, it's becoming more the norm to have a professional MC at a wedding to handle all the formalities of the evening. But here in Canada, it's still pretty normal to have a friend or family member who's closely connected to the MC portion of the evening. Typically, what I do though is work with that family MC to make sure that their job is as easy as possible. We let them handle the formal part of the evening, toasts and speeches, and then from that point on I would take over so that they can relax and enjoy the night. And I think it just makes it more enjoyable for everybody who's involved with the wedding at that point.
What do you do to motivate the crowd if nobody's dancing?
I don't really know what that is, because that doesn't typically happen at our events, but I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I sort of engineer the way I start a party at a wedding to make it so that people want to be on the dance floor. Nobody wants to be that first person that's stepping onto an empty dance floor with all bright lights are on them and everybody's watching. So we set it up in a way that nobody has to be that first person, that it kind of just happens naturally. And then, from that point, we keep the energy up and we watch the ebbs and flows of the crowd and make sure that dance floor is as full as we can all night long.
What if something happens to you and you can't make it to the wedding?
Is this table wood?
Let's pretend it is.
Well, in 20 years, I have never missed an event that I've been scheduled for, but I can't just take for granted that I'm going to make every single event that I'm scheduled for. And so with the team that I've got, we always make sure that we have somebody that's available to cover an event. And then we also have agreements with like-minded vendors to make sure that their events get covered in the case that something happens to one of them. Just kind of a last case, worst scenario contingency plan. It's like when the flood happened here in Calgary, we had DJs of ours who had their basements full of water and they obviously couldn't make their events, but through our networking group, I was able to make sure that every single one of our events that was scheduled that weekend took place on time and with an experienced DJ.
Good.
Yeah.
How involved can the bride and groom be in selecting the music for their event? Is there a do not playlist, and do you take requests from guests?
Well, I always tell the couples that we work with that the do not playlist is probably the most important list that they can give us. If they just tell us what not to play and leave the rest of the night to us, we'll have a great party every time. We don't want any upsetting music to be played, and obviously we would always make sure that Grandma's hair doesn't turn blue from the music, but we do give them the opportunity to give us requests ahead of time. We break that into a list of must plays and stuff that would be nice to hear as well. We place a few limits on that. The reason being we want to have room to be able to take requests from guests and react to the crowd and just have a really organic experience with the night. We don't want everything to be pre-programmed. Music is like a living, moving thing. You have to give it space to breathe and grow to get the best experience out of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jason.
Well, thanks for having me.